The big final started today at the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour event number 1 between Vincent Keymer, the 20-year-old from Germany, against Fabiano Caruana, 32 years old from the USA. A big battle. We're going to go through what's been happening at Weissenhaus today with Grandmaster David Howell sitting in the sofa at that luxury resort. Has it been a fun day to cover chess, David?
It has been a fun day, Kaya. It's been a shorter day, which as a commentator, I'm very, very relieved by. But yeah, it's been snowing here quite heavily throughout the day. Conditions were frosty inside the playing hall as well, while the players were kind of going at each other. But yeah, a lot to unpack. It was action-packed today.
I love it. Now, not all players, but 8 out of the 10 starting players were still playing today because they're also playing for, the placements. But we do have the final between Vincent Keymer and Fabiano Caruana. And in the bronze final, Magnus Carlsen, he was able to strike back today after losing the semi-final against Keymer, winning now the first game in the bronze final against young Sindarov. Remember, they play 2 days. 1 game today, then there will be another game with colors reversed tomorrow. And if they're tied after those 2 games, tie breaks will decide both who will take 3rd place and who will be the winner of the first freestyle event in 2025. Now, there was, of course, a drawing of starting position today, as always. And today, David, I don't remember the number actually, maybe we'll see it here. Number 866 was picked for the players today. As always, they were studying together, the players with the white pieces looking at the position, but also the players with the black pieces. And today, the generations became a thing. The young generation here studying together with Abdusattorov, Sindarov, and Keymer, and these legends, Hikaru, Fabi, and Magnus, looking at this together. But I understand it was a really difficult starting position today, David.
Yeah, it was extremely difficult, the start position today. It was a bit of a rare one where you see several weak pawns very early, where queens find it really difficult to get into the game. The kings are immediately under fire. The first thing Magnus said to me, I just met him just before talking to you, Kaya, and the first thing he said was, nobody understood that one, right? And
Wow.
I would argue that Vincent Keymer understood it very well, but Magnus was correct. There were lots of early mistakes. 2 or 3 of the players were already in big trouble as early as move 5.
Wow. Okay, so let's bring up the board in that game between Vincent and Fabi. Vincent with the white pieces. So how did he then do in the opening?
Yeah, Vincent was arguably the most impressive player in the opening, yet again. That's not the first time I'm saying it this week. He actually went into the confessional booth during his game. He was already highlighting some weak pawns. He was saying that although for most, at first sight, it's black's corner pawn, so on the far right, that is about to get attacked by white queen on the diagonal. Actually, he was highlighting another pawn that's only defended by black's knight in the corner, so the f7 pawn. He said that was the target long term, and he made it look like it was part of the master plan, Kaya. He literally said that after 5 minutes of the game, and 2-3 hours later, it was proven true. Yeah, Vincent starting with his c pawn. Unlike some of the others, I think pushing the central pawn, the e pawn there, actually gave some of the black players the advantage as early as move 1, which is so counterintuitive. But this opens up the white queen. And Vincent got a big advantage. If we just go a couple of moves down the line, we see 2 knights developed, the bishops in the corner opened up, and already Vincent struck. He attacked the black queen, forcing a block. Now he traded off a knight, and he simply grabbed a pawn. Look at this, the white queen jumping in. And Fabiano was reeling already. I think he was shocked, not able to kind of understand the position. The black knight in the corner has to lose a move, saving itself. And yeah, Vincent over the next few moves very impressively let his kind of left flank just disappear. He just wanted to urgently get castled with his king. He now kicked the black rook to the side of the board. And yeah, in a moment, the black rook never really found a way back home. Black's queen stuck, black's dark square bishop stuck. And it just looked one way. Here he just defended this attacked pawn, Vincent Keymer. And yeah, Fabiano clearly stuck for a plan, allowing the white king to run away now and get castled. Super safe behind a wall of pawns, behind enemy knights. And yeah, Caruana, I think he just lacked a plan. He was already shell-shocked. The computer does confirm he's just dead lost already. Fabiano, despite not doing anything too dramatic, the black rook coming down, and white now pushing his h-pawn forward. This was a key plan, kicking the black knight to some horrible squares. And I think we can play through the next moves quite quickly, because actually it just all worked to perfection. It was like a harmony. It was like a symphony. Everything so perfect for Vincent. The white knight in the center, the white rook putting pressure on the queen side, the white pawn now trying to destabilize black. And here, a really nice clincher move. The bishop coming in, targeting that pawn. The white bishop attacking this pawn. That was the target Vincent highlighted literally at the start of the game, and it came to fruition here. And desperation from Fabiano, giving up a rook for knight, but the rest was just painful for the American player. The white queen jumping back now, and Vincent could have won this even quicker. He was laughing about it in the commentary studio with us, but he could have actually taken a pawn with his bishop, trapping a black rook. I'm not sure whether it was a moment of blindness or whether he just kind of relaxed already internally, but he brought his rook across instead, and then rerouted his knight around, and sooner or later, the white rook, the white queen, they started entering the black position. Black start squared bishop only moved twice in this game, kind of going back to its start square. The black rook in the middle of the board didn't move a single time this entire battle. And there we go. The final touches. A rook sacrifice blocked. The rook saves itself. And Caruana resigned. One-way traffic, I've got to say, Kaya. Keymer, so impressive.
What an interesting chess game, and what an impressive performance by Vincent Keymer. I mean, Fabiano Caruana is world number 4. He came into this final as a favorite because his form lately has also been really, really good here at freestyle chess. But Vincent Keymer, maybe the biggest underdog at the first freestyle event. Here he is in the final. He wins the first game, and he's just playing some incredible chess. Is freestyle chess something that just really suits his style, or has he just become much, much better over the last, short period of time?
Yeah, I'm going to say both, Kaya. Vincent, he was, of course, famously part of Gukesh's World Championship team. He was studying openings there. He was coming up with ideas, playing practice matches with Gukesh. So Vincent, I think, learned a lot from that kind of high-level preparation, studying every day. He picked up some gems, clearly. And Vincent in Tata Steel just a couple of weeks ago defeated Pragnananda in the last round, had some great games there. But it feels like he's leveling up every day. It probably helps that he's here surrounded by his friends, his family, his coach, Peter Lecco, staying in the same building as him. But everything's it's been perfect for Vincent Keymer. This is his big breakthrough moment.
And let's hear from the 20-year-old from Germany.
Vincent, you just keep on winning. How does it feel to get the win in this fashion today?
Yeah, I'm really happy about the game. I think it was quite smooth, at least from the human point of view. And also, I think I was quite happy with the starting position that we got, because it was incredibly dangerous for black.
Magnus talked about him struggling today with the black pieces to, unwind out of the opening. Did you get the same sensation that Fabiano was also struggling with finding the right plans or the right ideas?
Yeah, it seemed that actually he played the first 5-6 moves well, and the resulting position was objectively completely fine for black. But again, from a human point of view, I was really happy with that position, and I also thought it's better for me. I didn't have the feeling that I had any incredibly difficult decisions to make, which is actually very rare, because usually to get the winning position against these top guys, you need to work like absolute crazy. And yeah, I think the position was really just playing itself, kind of.
I've talked about this yesterday already, but I have to repeat. I'm so impressed with how calm you remain. I mean, you beat Magnus Carlsen in a match yesterday. Today you beat Fabi. You're just one draw away from winning this event. How do you think you managed that to just, stay so level-headed?
Yeah, I actually think it's way easier to stay calm when things are going well or when you're winning compared to when things are not going well, because this way I don't need to think about what to change or what I should do. I can just basically keep doing what I've been doing, and as long as it works out, everything's great.
There's also a big prize fund. First place is $200,000. Do you think of that? And if you won, what would you do with that amount of money?
Yeah, I don't think I would have any special plans. Of course, it's amazing. It would be amazing to win this tournament. Also, would then clearly be the strongest tournament I ever won, and for sure, if not the most important, then one of the really most important moments of my chess career.
That's one happy guy, Vincent Keymer, taking the lead in the final with a draw or a win in the second game tomorrow. He will be the winner, the champion of the Freestyle Chess first event in Germany. Incredible stuff. We're also going to talk about the match for third place between world number 1 Magnus Carlsen and the 19-year-old Yavakir Sindarov. It ended up being a win for Magnus, who lost his match against Keymer. He was not in a good mood after losing that match, but today was it more the Magnus that we know, David?
Yeah, this was Magnus back to his best. I think the pressure now off. Third place is definitely not a success for Magnus Carlsen, but I think now out of the running for first, at least he could play with a bit of freedom. And I should mention that yesterday's marathon, that 7-game marathon we saw between Fabiano Caruana and Javokir Sindarov, clearly affecting the two of them. They were both not at their usual strength. I think maybe just lacking in energy, a bit tired. Magnus pounced on Sindarov's mistakes and really punished the youngster there. It was a real power play, a great performance from the world number 1.
Yeah, very good point. Of course, with both Fabi and Sindarov feeling maybe a little bit less energetic today. But let's take a look at this win for Magnus, jumping into a critical moment here. It says massively better for Magnus. What are we looking at, David?
Yeah, so this is the middle game. We would normally say both kings now have committed to a flank. So we see Sindarov with white. His king is on the right side. Magnus with black. His king is on the left side. That means the first to attack normally wins. It becomes a bit of a race. But here we see Magnus seizing the moment and putting his queen on a very long diagonal. That black queen, the bishop as well, the light squared bishop, hiding in the corner next to black's king, staring down a diagonal where there are some checkmating squares. The white knight now is fixed where it is, really loose. It's a clear target. And Magnus just navigated the next part of the game really well. He just kept building momentum. There was a trap here. He could not have taken a knight because the white bishop from the corner would have jumped in with a check. And this is where Magnus's move, the bishop move played, was a really nice one. He's taking care of his defenses. The black king now has a hiding place in the corner of the board. And from here on, it was the Magnus show. After this knight was defended, he simply upped the pressure, kicking the white queen away, then defending his knight. And the other bishop came into the attack, and Magnus finished off with a flurry. It's got to be said, just a few moves down the line. Here we go. Knight takes pawn. Beautiful sacrifice from Magnus Carlsen. If the white queen had zoomed back to take this knight, the black rook would have jumped into white's third rank with a couple of targets. That would have been a winning attack for Magnus. But his next move as well, showing off some nice geometry, nice angles here. The black knight jumps back with a fork, attacking white's queen, white's bishop. And when it was captured, there was another double attack. Bishop takes pawn is a check, picking off the white rook. And Magnus converted from there very, very smoothly. Material up and with the attack ongoing.
Yeah, and those two knight moves, David, I heard you in the commentary. You were very excited. That was actually 2 brilliancies in a row by Magnus. That's not often that we see.
Yeah, very rare. And according to the chess.com kind of evaluation system, it was given 2 exclamation marks twice in a row. That shows it's, first of all, the best move by a long distance. And it was a sacrifice, especially the first sacrifice there. Knight takes pawn. That just blew open Sindarov's defenses there. So Magnus showing his sharpness. It's just a pity for him, I guess, that it came a bit too late. He needed this kind of inspiration yesterday.
Yeah, this is the battle for third place. 2 things that we are super excited about in chess is double exclamation mark, brilliancies, and triple takes. Let's hear from the co-founder of Take, Magnus Carlsen.
It feels like, except for the game against Abdusattorov, like I'm struggling mightily with the black pieces, and I don't know if I'm getting unlucky with some of the positions. Maybe I'm just in my own head, but I couldn't really see what to do. I thought his third move was quite clever, sort of, just grabbing some space and putting me in a little bit of I wouldn't say Zugzwang, but I was considering mirroring his move, but I've noticed that even in freestyle, he's generally very, very happy to play Italian types of positions. So he would have gone for bishop c4 and so on. And it felt unpleasant to me being a tempo down, so I went for a very committal choice, locking in my bishop. But I don't think it was a good one. I didn't like it at all. I think in the game, he lost his way a little bit. I think he found it hard to make committal decisions, and eventually, he let me back into the game, and that very bishop that was locked in became the strongest piece on the board.
In the confession booth, you described it, I believe, as the ugly duckling, which became a beautiful swan. Was that the decisive piece?
Yeah, I think so. It was a little bit like some of those Botvinnik variations of the semi-slab, where black has a pawn mass on the king side and a little bit of an exposed king, but if things work out really well, then really powerful bishops, especially the light squared ones. So I think I still missed a couple of things along the way, but once I got a bit of a foothold in the game, I felt very good. I felt like he wasn't completely feeling the position, and I don't think he was on top of his game.
That match, of course, is the match for third place, which is also important because third place qualifies to Paris. Let's talk about yesterday's match against Vincent. You suddenly got some chances. Can you tell us a bit about, what happened yesterday and how you felt?
Yeah, normally playing white against Vincent, I'd feel relatively good about creating chances, but it's always a bit more difficult when you have to win on demand. I think he has a very good feeling for the opening, and it's funny that I think already like a move in, I was quite unhappy because I didn't see how to break the symmetry, and there was one pawn sacrifice that I considered, which I thought in the end, well, it's too ridiculous. Like I cannot be that desperate already, and Peter actually mentioned that right after the game, like that pawn sacrifice was actually like good. It was giving like a little bit better for white and quite playable, which was a bit of a shock to me, which shows also how little we understand of these positions sometimes. But anyway, I tried to complicate the position, didn't really succeed. He was certainly better, and as I said, he was playing the opening better. But I managed to fight. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, towards the end, I think both game 1 and game 2, that's really what it came down to, that he was a lot better with the time ticking down, and that is obviously not a great sign, but it is what it is, and it was certainly deserved that he went through. And if you saw his game today as well, like he's playing really well.
All right, Magnus Carlsen, he is fighting to take third place in the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour event number 1. Of course, overall, it's 5 tournaments and an overall winner after those 5 tournaments. So it's important, the placements as well. The winner will take 25 points. Second place will take 18 points, all the way down to 10th place, taking 1 point. So it's important to win those matches also for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place as well. And 5th and 6th place is between Abdusatorov and Hikaru. And then for 7th and 8th place, we have a battle between Alireza Firouzja and Gukesh. That was a draw today. So I think I saw at some point Alireza was winning. Did he blunder at some point then in that game, David?
Yeah, so that was a roller coaster encounter. Alireza Firouzja, I think because he seems a bit mentally checked out. That's my personal opinion, not been confirmed by anyone, of course. But I think Alireza is just so frustrated with how the last few days have gone, only fighting for 7th and 8th, that he started playing quickly in his games, this kind of carefree attitude. So he played quickly. He kind of tricked Gukesh, who tried to get an attack going, but eventually in the end game, it was a case of good knight versus bad bishop. Firouzja with a good knight, Gukesh with a bad bishop. It was one-way traffic. It looked like Firouzja was about to win. He had total domination, but he tried to cash in his advantage a bit too early. He traded off all the pieces and actually traded down to a drawn endgame. So Firouzja, super frustrated. Gukesh had a bit of a miracle escape there.
And then in the other one, 5th and 6th place, Hikaru Nakamura, he was really upset that he lost in the quarterfinal to young Sindarov. He was able to win against Gukesh yesterday, and today as well in his match against Abdusatorov. A great win for Hikaru.
Yeah, Hikaru back to his best as well. He's actually played very well the whole tournament. I should mention Hikaru, but to his high standards, it was frustrating getting kind of kicked down in the quarterfinals. And it was just that killer instinct that for 1 or 2 days deserted him in the quarterfinals, but that is back. And today was Hikaru at his best. He ground down Abdusatorov in a really nice kind of strategic, technical, long endgame.
And being frustrated at freestyle chess a couple of those days, Hikaru has actually been hinting about retirement, and he did talk about that as well in an interview in the Take sofa.
You had a heartbreaking match loss against Sindarov. You had some pretty strong words after that, where you talked about, potentially retiring a few days on. Do you feel you have cooled down a bit? Do you feel differently, or?
No, actually, I don't feel different at all. I think, of course, this is probably a hot take, but I think a lot of people who are not in the world or don't understand the economics of content creation, and this isn't just chess, but this is about the world as a whole. There's this notion that, it's all about clicks. It's all about saying something so that people click on something. Anybody who's actually on the inside, like myself, we all know that whether it's, a short or a reel or anything else, those don't monetize. So when I make these comments, it has absolutely nothing to do with, say, drama or trying to create a clip. I mean, it's the way that I feel. This is something that's been on my mind for a long time now, so I don't have any difference in opinion. I mean, if I don't play well in Norway or the World Cup, I'm going to call it as far as regular classical chess goes. So I think there are a lot of people who, for whatever reason, it's like the classic saying, read my lips. And people seem to not do that. So no, even if obviously I'm in a better mood than I was a couple of days ago, the situation hasn't changed whatsoever, and I just kind of want to enjoy it. I think to use an example, not so long ago, it wasn't this last flight I took, but maybe the flight before, whenever it was. I watched this documentary on Roger Federer and his retirement, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm anywhere near the same league as Federer in relation to tennis or chess. But still, just watching something like that, I think, you kind of have to know when that time is coming. And for me, with all the things that I do, the amount of preparation I can do for classical chess is a lot less than everybody else. And, I made this comment yesterday about working smarter as opposed to working harder on one of the other interviews I did. And I try to do that to the best of my ability. But still, I think that when I compare the amount of work I'm putting in versus the younger kids, it's not at the same level. And so for me, my big focus, I would say, is on the freestyle series, but also on the upcoming qualifiers for the Esports World Cup. And that's actually my biggest focus. It's not on classical chess. And I know people probably aren't going to like that I'm talking about classical chess this way, but that's how I feel. And my opinion hasn't changed, even if I'm not angry right now.
Well, let's hope Hikaru Nakamura continues to play chess for many, many more years. We're going to round it up here from the Take post-game show after the first day in the final. I just want to cover one final thing, David. There's been some news today. Grenke Chess, a long-running tournament, has announced that they will, in fact, this year not only have an open classical tournament, but also an open freestyle tournament where Magnus Carlsen has been announced that he is playing. Vincent Keymer will be playing. And sort of when that was announced, it was also somehow announced that Hans Niemann has been invited as a wild card to the next freestyle chess tournament that will be played in Paris. What's been the reactions at Weissenhaus today that Hans Niemann is now entering freestyle chess?
Yeah, Kaya, it came as a surprise, I think, to a lot of people. There have been whisperings over the past few days here in Weissenhaus that Hans might make an appearance at some point in the tour. I think people didn't want to talk too loudly because, of course, it is a controversial topic. But, I think it's fantastic. Hans, we should mention, did technically qualify. Now that they have included this Grenke tournament, the biggest chess tournament in the world, it normally has thousands of players competing. He won the open section last year, and now that it's been incorporated as part of the freestyle tour, they kind of invited him as the reigning winner from last year's edition. But yeah, it's sure to shake some feathers here. It's sure to get under the players' skins. I mean, Magnus is going to be, fighting his emotions, I guess. Some of the other players as well. They all see Hans as this firebrand, this fire starter. And I can't wait personally. As a chess fan, I want to see it. So I can't wait. It's going to be interesting to see how Hans adapts to freestyle chess. I'm not sure he has much experience there, but yeah, don't write him off.
Yeah, we can already start looking forward to the second event of the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour in April. Magnus did actually answer a question about Hans joining that event.
And Hans Niemann has been announced to be playing in the next leg of the Grand Slam Tour in Paris. Your thoughts on that?
Well, he won the Grand Open last year. That's why, I guess.
Well, that will be the second Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour event in April. We are now covering the first one, and we have reached the final today. Vincent Keymer took the lead against Fabiano Caruana. The second game will be tomorrow. Do you think Fabi will be able to make a comeback and take it to tiebreaks, David?
Yeah, I kind of hope so, Kaya, just because I like seeing more chess. I like seeing the drama, the adrenaline of playoffs, of tiebreaks. But then again, Vincent Keymer, he's been by far the most impressive player this whole week, especially in the longer time format. So it does feel like this is his moment, Keymer. It would mean a lot to him as well. A 20-year-old winning $200,000. I don't know. We'll see. But if anyone could do it, Fabi can.
Yeah. All right. Well, David, fuel up and get ready for that final day of Freestyle Chess tomorrow. Enjoy your night. Thank you for taking us through these games.
My pleasure, Kaya. See you tomorrow. Big day ahead.
Big day ahead. Yeah, we could be witnessing history tomorrow, you guys, and the biggest day for a young player in his career. Vincent Keymer will be fighting for a win in the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour event number 1. Hikaru Nakamura has to make a comeback. He has to win that game. It's going to be a cool one. Remember to download the Take app to get notified when the action starts and to follow the game with text commentary. We will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.